My boyfriend refuses to house sit for my parents. Now I'm questioning our relationship.
Maybe he's scared of a ghost.
My boyfriend, 29 male, and I, 22 female, have been together for about 4 years and have a toddler together. I have a full-time college student in a really hard program, and he works full-time as well. He supports us almost completely, doesn't pay my car, insurance, phone, clothes, personal items, and we've had to live with his parents for almost 2 years. By the way, this comes from Throwaway145, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I handled living with his parents pretty well at first, and it was easy when our son was an infant because we could just hang out in our part of the house, and it was very contained. But now he is a toddler, and when I'm not in school, I'm with him 100%. As he plays throughout the house, I'm also around his parents a lot. This has been increasingly hard on me as it's a little house, and his parents don't work or leave the house, so I am around them constantly. All day. They can be super nice people, but we don't always get along as they like to parent over me, as in correcting our child and chastising him even when I'm already doing it. His dad and I butt heads a lot. In particular, once told me I needed to do sit-ups to lose my baby weight when I was already down to 125 pounds after a week, as he sort of has a tendency to tell me what I should be doing with our son. Anyway, after over a year of this, it has really started to wear me down. I am a very introverted person, and the stress of being around people who I feel judged by 24/7 is really building up. I'm also in the nursing program at my university, and it is extremely intensive, so I'm stressed all day at school and coming home to more stress. I told my boyfriend all of this and that I really needed a break, and I tentatively asked him what he thought about moving in with my parents, who are only 5 miles away. He refused to do that and said he would let me move out, break up before he came with me.
Oh,
Perfect. Let's do that.
Look at that.
Let's do that. I support that full-heartedly.
Done.
Easy
peasy.
You're 29, living, it's totally fine to live with your parents at any age, really. There are a lot of different circumstances, but I do just want to point out, he's 29, got together with an 18-year-old at 25, had a kid immediately. Doesn't seem like he's supporting her emotionally or financially really that much.
Doesn't really care about her at all.
Doesn't care about her at all. Seems very immature.
Isn't with his kid much.
Not looking great. Well, after a lot of tension about this issue and it being a really big deal in our relationship, my parents announced that they were going out of town for a week for their anniversary. They asked me if my boyfriend and I would stay in their house and take care of the dogs during this time. I was so excited. An empty house for a week. It sounded like the best recharge from the constant stress of living here, and I told my boyfriend as much. He hemmed and hawed about it for a couple of weeks before finally announcing that he would not do it. He told me I should do it, and he would try to stay one day, but he was going to be busy at work and did not want the extra drive time. It would literally be 5 additional minutes. He said he deserved to be comfortable after a long day of work, and that there was no point in him coming to stay with us, but that I was welcome to. He also suggested me driving out 3 to 4 times a day to let the dogs out while still staying here as a good alternative. I told this to my parents that I would stay, not him, and they were extremely insulted. To them, this is just beyond disrespectful to make the mother of his child stay alone instead of a 5-minute additional drive. They said there was no way they would let their daughter house sit alone with a toddler. It's a semi-iffy neighborhood, and we've had some incidents. And now they're extremely upset with him since they do a lot for him and us, and this is the first favor they've ever asked for. They can't afford to kennel the dog, so this kind of calls their vacation into question. My feelings are hurt that he has no problem upsetting my parents so much and doesn't care what this does to their opinion of him, which is not great right now when they know how badly I want to stay at their house, my house, and he refuses. Anyway, sorry this post is so long, but this really has me thinking. I did the math, and I have lived with his parents for 630 days.
Oh.
Girl, you need to get out of there.
Get out. Run.
Far away.
5 miles away.
Just short of 2 years.
house.
It's 1.7 years.
Told him that I am not comfortable living here, that I feel judged, and that I'm generally not happy. This has been a huge issue with us recently, and he's still not at all swayed by this. I asked him why he wouldn't do it for me for 1 week when I do it for him, i.e. living in his parents' house every day. And his response was that he's not making me do that. He said it's my choice and I could leave whenever I want. So I can't say it's something that I'm doing for him, but it is. I'm doing it so I can be with him.
So he just flat out said, I don't want to be with you.
Yeah. Yes. He said he
it.
would rather break up with you than move in with your parents.
For a week.
Well, I mean, that was for full time.
That was for the full
the breakup part was for full time.
But he won't even do it for a week. In an empty house, like, would you guys not want your own space for a week?
That's what I don't understand. I would like you wouldn't jump at the chance to have an empty house with your partner, but it is. I'm doing it so I can be with him, not because I just randomly love it here. I don't get why he can't do something for me that I'm willing to do for him. I can't get this out of my mind. That he refuses to do this for me. He knows how much this is bothering me. And he said, I guess I'm being selfish, and then changed the topic. But I can't change the topic. It's seriously all I think about. To me, it has called our whole relationship into question and made it all feel so one-sided. There are more incidents where he won't put helping me above his own comfort. The other morning, I had been awake until 4 a.m., studying for an anatomy exam, and he was watching TV late the next morning. I begged him to read out my flashcards for me in the 20 minutes I needed to spend getting dressed to go to class, and he said he didn't feel like it. Why am I with someone who isn't willing to make himself uncomfortable for something that means so much to me, when he's fine with me being uncomfortable where I live every day? Am I being unreasonable and just can't see it?
No!
And there is an update, folks, but yeah, I think that this relationship is over.
You're not unreasonable. He is a man-child.
Man-child, baby boy.
Little baby boy.
And he can't make sacrifices to
and
provide for you.
And we're doing strong.
Yeah, strong air quotations for sacrifices.
And the beautiful thing here in this Reddit post is she didn't know breaking up with him is an option. After reading these comments, she definitely
she's gonna be like, oh, I can live with my parents with my daughter and have a much better life than I do with this guy.
Be like, wait a second,
get my
you
nursing
all agree
degree.
He sucks.
Yeah.
They're gonna call out way more than she's even thinking of.
Update. So basically, we're currently and have been for the past 6 days house sitting for my parents. The morning I made my post, I had also sent him a text saying that basically I was still upset over the issue and it wasn't going away. He didn't reply, but called me on his way home, our ritual, and said that he had been thinking about what I said all day as he worked and wanted to wait to actually talk it out instead of texting. He said that he had been thinking a lot about why he was being selfish and what he was feeling. We had a long talk and it was really nice and open. And we both shared some of the negative feelings that we had been having. I think we started working on a lot of pent-up issues, and I'm so glad we got things out in the open. He shared with me a lot and then really listened to what I was saying as well.
I don't know, this sounds like such a backtrack.
Yeah, I don't trust this. He also said about the house sitting specifically that he had been afraid I was using the 9 days to try and trick him into moving there. Red flag!
God!
Red flag! This threw me for a loop because that thought had been nowhere in my mind. I was genuinely thinking of it as a brief break. He said that this irrational fear of me wanting to trick him into moving made him initially want to say no, and then selfishness about changing his routine. And then he said that just plain stubbornness made him dig his heels in after that. He was really open and regretful about not being there for me. Anyway, my parents left the next day and he came over with me and we've been staying here. And it's been so nice and relaxing. I feel refreshed. It is nice to have family time and his work schedule has been less demanding than he thought, so he's been here a lot. His commute has also only been about 15 minutes total, so not even more than usual. This man was complaining about a 20-minute commute.
And it's not even 20 minutes.
By the way, you should never complain about listening to full episodes of stories just like this because you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There's more to the story, but I feel like OP is in this very dangerous position of being like, everything's better when it's not.
When it sounds like you guys still didn't actually talk
Nothing
about
solved.
the issues.
It seems like he just got his way.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, he caved to staying at the house, but like
because
not really.
because he was like, oh, I'm gonna get my way about staying here with his parents.
Oh,
Because he's like,
after
oh, I
all,
don't have
yeah,
to like
in the
move
long
into your
run.
parents' house, so
Right.
I'm fine with this now.
The only positive thing I could think of coming from this is that they do this, and he's like, wow, this space is so nice.
Yeah,
Let's
and then they
move
move
here.
in. Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
No, I don't see this man doing anything that doesn't benefit himself.
Ah.
But there is a little bit left to this story. I don't like this man. You should divorce him or break up. The only complaint is sleeping in my not king-size bed. So maybe that's not the breakup ending that would be hoped for. It isn't. I'm upset. But I feel so much better knowing his reasoning wasn't just pure indifference and that he at least came around in the end. At least came around in the end? Girl, you're 22. You got a whole life to live. Don't waste it on this 29-year-old baby. I was
Also,
really...
just the fact that he was like, because you were going to trick me.
Yeah, he thought you were going to trick him. And instead of communicating, he just said, now.
Right. He thinks that low of you.
I was really so shocked when writing the last post because he's not normally like this at all. Hence why it threw me that he would be so against this. My only thing I would want advice about is how to maintain this closeness even when we're back in the more stressful environment of living in a shared space. You can't.
Don't go back.
Otherwise, though, I'm feeling so much better than when I wrote the first post. I'm feeling worse.
No, that's
I'm
it.
feeling worse.
I bought a new car even though I knew my girlfriend would be upset.
And there it is. Uh-oh.
I am 27 and my girlfriend Georgia is 25 and she works as a pharmacy associate. We have been together for 2.5 years and I do see a future with her. I work in healthcare and have been scrimping and saving through most of my 20s. I didn't have much of a college experience and have just stacked money for my future. By the way, this comes from I Buy Audi, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, recently, I got fed up with my Hyundai and decided that it's finally time to trade it in for something nice and comfortable for myself. I told my girlfriend about my plan, and she asked me what cars I was looking at, and she vehemently disagreed. I found it surprising, but I said that I wanted to get the car anyway. This was a point of contention for a while, so I found myself holding off on biting the bullet on purchasing a car. This has been the first real fight in our relationship. I would bring it up and she would either shut it down or would give me some reason I didn't find particularly convincing. It's too expensive. Well, I can afford it. I have a lot of money saved. Eventually, I was getting frustrated and I vented with my friend and he said, she's joining into your life. She can either hop on or not. You don't need her permission. I figured that was a valid point. So I told Georgia that I was getting a car. She said, do what you want, and that was that.
Wait, I'm confused why she's against it.
Yeah.
She's just against it?
She gave it's too expensive.
But it's
But
your
he's
money.
been saving for all of his 20s, and it's his money.
It's his money. You guys aren't married.
Yeah, I could see the thing because if you get like a nice car, you also have to get nice insurance, and then on top of that, you also have to get nice gas. So
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, it's his.
it is his.
He's
I
been
mean,
saving for a decade.
Yeah.
if my girlfriend wanted to get like a really nice Chevrolet, and I was like, hey, you're gonna have to like pay more in gas, more in this and money, and if they're like always talking about how like they don't have a lot of money, I probably would be mad.
Sure, I could give advice.
Yeah,
and be like, hey,
Yeah.
do you have the money for that?
Right, but
You
if
know?
they came back and they were like, I have the money for it, I've
Oh.
been
Yeah.
saving, I'd say,
Wait a
oh,
minute.
great. I got a 2022 Audi A6 45 Premium Plus. I test drove it and it rode so smooth. It had black leather seats, white exterior, low miles, clean Carfax, and 20-inch V-rims. I was so happy. Oh, here we go. I got it for $39K out of the door. I put $15K down, traded in my Hyundai, and financed the rest through my credit union. I drove home grinning ear to ear. I called my girlfriend later that day and invited her to my apartment. I cooked her salmon and mashed potatoes and cracked open a store-bought cheesecake. Eventually, I took her outside and showed her the car. I figured once she saw how nice of a purchase I made, maybe she wouldn't be so mad. After all, could you be mad as a passenger princess in German luxury? It was a vain hope. She was upset. She said, You actually did it? I said, yeah. I said I was going to. We started bickering. She asked how much it cost. I told her. She said, that's more than I make in a year. I said, yeah, but I can afford it. We went back and forth, but the argument devolved. Eventually, I said, if you can't be happy for me, you can just go ahead and go home. She started tearing up and apologized. I apologized for snapping. We just had a quiet night in after that. Today, I spoke with my girlfriend, and she said that she wanted an apology from me for disregarding her feelings regarding me purchasing an expensive vehicle. I told her no apology was coming for that. I was happy with my purchase. She can either get over it or not, but how she felt about it was not my problem to solve. She said that was really mean, and I said it was really mean she was trying to control my purchases as a grown man. Am I the a-hole? And we have some comments. Do you have any thoughts, or do you want to just jump to the comments?
I think
Basically, she's still mad about it, even though he was like, I can pay for it.
I don't know why she's so mad about it.
She's demanding an apology.
For what? For him
They
buying
got a
car?
little snappy at each other.
I think it's a little silly.
I think ultimately they're not married. They're not set to be getting married. We have some comments. Comment 1. Not the a-hole. Evidently, y'all don't even live together. Not her call. No apology is necessary on your part. Just watch out if she continues to harp about it. Shut it down immediately. You might want to reconsider the relationship. You are young and saved for this beautiful car and had every right to purchase it. This is coming from a mom and grandma. A reply. Best thing to do is treat the car right. Do the required maintenance and will run for a long time. Personally, I've always bought the low-end Honda Civic, ran it for 125,000 miles before I had to sell it for moving overseas. New owner took it for a test drive and asked if I wanted more money because it was in pristine shape. Gave him a friends and family discount. Ultimately, it seems you and the girlfriend are not on the same page financially. It's difficult to see this relationship working out long term. And Opie says, it's a German car, so it's even more important to be on top of maintenance. I'm going to treat her like a princess. The car is that. The girlfriend? TBD right now. She's upset at me.
I think that's just such a silly thing to be upset about.
Yeah. I also don't think that comment was necessary, but...
Yeah, I have
my car is
super nice. Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about her.
Yeah, this is, you know what I would say to the girlfriend? I would pull a Superman. I would say, well, you know that's very silly. That's what I would say.
Comment 2. If she has no financial involvement, she has no say over what you do with your money. Yeah. And someone says, 100% correct. She can, however, consider how he spends his money as a factor in whether he is someone she wants to stay in a long-term relationship with and potentially marry. Sounds like OP is already prepared for the possibility she may break up with him, though. Update. Well, I got to the root of the issue with my girlfriend after we spoke yesterday. First things first, to clear up a few commonly mentioned things in the comments. My girlfriend wasn't expecting a ring. Didn't want one while she was deciding whether to go to grad school or pharmacy school. I can afford the car. I work as a nurse making over $70K and have a lot of savings. Math Riley, can he afford it?
Math, Riley.
Depending on where,
That's
one,
right.
where he lives, and then two, $70K for a $500 a month car, that's, oh, I mean.
But he'd be done with that in 3 years, and presumably he'd still be a nurse.
No. He'd be done with that. If it
The
was just
500 was 3 years.
No,
Or was it
530
300?
without the gas and everything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's still a hefty expense that if I was making that much at that age, I probably would put that towards like investments. But your money, man. You can definitely afford it though.
I've worked as a nurse for 4 years. I lived with my parents for 3 of those years and didn't spend much at all. The used Audi A6 I purchased is the biggest purchase I've ever made, and I wanted to finance half of it in case I want a mortgage in the future. Things have gotten better between the two of us since the exchange at the end of our last post. I did take her out to get some ice cream and also surprised her by taking her to get her nails done as well. She asked if I was trying to bribe her out of being mad, and I said, no, just trying to be kind. even though I had planned these weekend activities ahead of time and was still fairly mad at her. Normally, after a date out, we would wrap things up at my place, but I didn't have the bandwidth and wanted some space. I dropped her back off at her parents' house and asked if she could come by my place tomorrow so we could just quash the issue looming over our relationship. She said, okay. I ran errands yesterday and prepared for my girlfriend to come by. Around 6, she came by after her shift. I sat her down at the table with a pizza. There's the bribe.
The bribe is a whole day thing.
Yeah.
It's multiple steps to this bribe. Yeah.
Smart man. It would work on me.
Would work on. It's already working.
It's already working on me.
It's already working. Oh my goodness, what I wouldn't give for a pizza,
ice cream, and
ice
nails
cream and
done.
nails. I don't really get my nails done, but that would work on me.
It.
And then maybe a little forehead kiss.
A little smooch on the way
A little
out.
smooch.
Oh, dinner. Look at her, longing into the distance. And basically just asked that we keep it civil and try not to get too emotional. I asked her why the car was too expensive. She said that it just was. It's an excess and wasteful. I said that I agree. That caught her off guard.
She's like yelling at you. She's like, it's excessive and wasteful. And you're
He's
like,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
And she's like, well,
Well,
I didn't.
okay.
Oh.
I told her that I saved a lot of money and basically spent very little on myself. So just once, I wanted to be excessive on myself. She asked if it's a one-off thing. I said probably. I intend to treat the car very well. I asked why her reaction was so strong to the car. This is where she kind of shut down a little. I prodded her a little. She said that she decided she wanted to go to pharmacy school. She was going to tell me soon, and while she was making this big adult decision in her eyes, here I was blowing a bunch of money on a luxury car. I congratulated her on making up her mind on a career. I didn't particularly agree with the characterization, but I could see how she could see it that way. I asked which school she was applying to, and she mentioned a few public universities in our state. I asked how she was planning on paying, and she said she had no other options than loans. She was also hoping I would be willing to help out or chip in.
There it
I
is,
was
folks.
waiting for it.
There it is, folks. She wants your money, and that's why she's upset that you're paying something else with it.
Dang.
She's not entitled to it.
Dang.
If that was the case, I would get a game plan for an investment because I'm going to be investing in you. This will be interest, whenever we get married or whatever. I want you to do the chores or whatever. Like, I don't know, make an investment or like say you pay more for the house or whatnot.
I'm sorry, there's so much happening behind you.
It's okay. Anyways.
I told her that I loved her, but that she took out her anxieties of being able to pay for her pharmacy degree on me instead of being happy for me. She apologized for that and said she didn't realize that getting a nice car meant a lot to me. She started crying and I held her for a bit. By the way, you can always hold on to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcast app, and search OK Storytime.
Do it.
We have a little bit more, but that's crazy.
I mean, really, I don't know. So presumptuous of her.
Yeah. Well, I thought you'd put $15K down on my school.
Truly crazy to me for her to have had this whole thing where she's upset, blah, 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 thinks that him buying a car is excessive, a waste. And then you're like, why is she acting like this? And you find out that this whole time she doesn't have the money to spend on the school that she wants to and was expecting you to use money and never talked to you about it.
And
never
also,
asked.
she said get a loan, but then him just, she wasn't expecting to pay you back that money.
No.
She was just like, I just thought you'd chip in for it.
I thought you'd just give it to me. That's crazy.
We spoke for a long time after that. In sum, though, things are uncertain. I feel like I saw a really bad side of her before we took some really big steps together. Her lack of communication and feeling of control over my purchase concerned me, and I don't think it would be a good idea for me to marry her. I say marry her because there is no way I would support someone through a pharmacy degree without some sort of legal reassurance. Things left on a bittersweet note, but an I love you nonetheless. I dropped her off back at her parents' house. Right now, I'm 90% leaning towards ending this relationship because I just don't see us heading in the same direction anymore. I probably won't update or respond to comments for a while. I have 2 back-to-back shifts starting tomorrow, and I'm going to hit the hay after this post. It's the end.
And there you go.
My boyfriend said his exes are crazy. So I did some research.
Smart girl right there.
My boyfriend, 31 male, is great and kind to me, 31 female. We are extremely alike, but we make our difference work in our favor. I love him. We've made plans to marry in the next 4 or so years, depending on how life and jobs go. It is basically a promise to visit the option to marry one day. And it has allowed us to start saving since a big wedding is what we would both want. By the way, this comes from user Wartworth. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I have a son from a previous marriage, and he is just great to my son. They have a sort of friend relationship since my ex-husband is an active father and we have joint custody. The problem is that, and I just recently found out about this through conversations with him, his family, friends, and just the way he acts when we see them out in public, he says all his exes, every single one of them, is crazy. There's about 10 that I know of, and that is weird to me. My ex-husband and I don't exactly have the most ideal relationship. We won't ever be best friends, but I wouldn't call him crazy. And I feel the same about my other exes. I'm never going to be friends with them. They are exes for a reason, but none of them are bad people, really, excluding one that includes a very long story I won't get into here. And I wouldn't call them crazy. If I see them out and about, I always at least try to wave or say hi, even if I don't really want to see them. It's just polite, I think, to acknowledge them. And I know it's awkward for both parties sometimes, but I think dodging them and running away would be more awkward. I mean, we're in our 30s. I actually have a professional relationship with one of them, so he emails me work-related stuff once a month, and we are always cordial and professional. And one is a chef at this restaurant I love, and I'd never avoid it just to never see him. We just smile and nod at each other if he happens to be there. They get the same treatment I'd give just about anyone. My ex, though, apparently dodges them, runs, and does everything in his power never to have to speak to or remember or be reminded of any of his exes ever again. He says he blocks them on everything, which he showed me one day when we were having a debate about it. It was about 20 names. I didn't really have time to count. All females, all blocked. They are all exes and dates that didn't work out. That's the default for him. Now, people have crazy exes. I get it. I have one of them, but 20? No one has 20 crazy exes or dates, unless you are really, really bad at choosing your mates/dates. Or you're the crazy one. I recently ran into one of his ex-girlfriends in a coffee shop. I didn't know her, but she knew me because we have mutual friends. She seemed nice, so I was polite and we got to talking about my boyfriend. Just normal, how is he kind of stuff. I couldn't help but ask her how he treated her while they were together, and her response bothered me. She said that they were inseparable for years. They had plans to marry and have children, then they split. Like she went to stay at her friend's house since he had to work and she didn't want to be alone, and he took what little stuff he had at her apartment and just split.
I found the common denominator. It's
Ooh.
him.
That's like the craziest way to do it too.
He's probably did that for all 20.
Just
And
like,
then he just blocks them so they can't say anything or contact him or find out what happened.
what if he has kids with all 22? That would be the wildest plot twist. He never talked to her again. He blocked her on everything, just ran for it, and never checked on her again. I thought, maybe she's being dramatic. Everyone has a side to the story, but her friend who was there that day happens to be my friend too, and I asked her, and she confirmed all the tears and unanswered texts and how he said he would pick her up and didn't. It left a bad taste in my mouth, but I asked him because I wanted to know his side. He says, like he does about everyone he's ever dated, that she was crazy and he had to leave, no choice. Quote, she would have stalked me. The thing is that it's the same thing he says about every girl he's ever dated. My grandmother, my light of rationality and truth, told me that I'm probably going to end up as the crazy ex when and if he and I break up, because you can tell a lot about a person by the way they treat the people they no longer love. But she is very old school. She dated maybe 3 people her whole life. I just suddenly have a bad feeling. He treats his exes badly. He talks about them badly. He runs from them in public. And they can't all be crazy. 20 women are not trying to track him down in town. He is cute, but no one is that cute. I have a kid and a career, and I'm in my 30s. I am way too boring and exhausted to be the crazy ex, but I think he might make me into one in his head if we ever split, and it just seems disrespectful to me. Yeah, of course. Of course it is.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You automatically have 20 girls that are like, she's not crazy.
Yeah, I mean...
And that's probably a lot for a small town if you're in a small town.
Yeah, try that in a small town. What is that song about? I can't even remember. I need some perspective because I'm over-empathetic and extremely sensitive to the feelings of others. I asked my ex-husband if he had more than one crazy ex, and he said he didn't have any. But if he did, that is the sort of mistake you only make once. I'm not sure I want to be with someone who continually keeps making that mistake. And if he is lying about them, I don't want to be with someone who disrespects people like that. I don't even know how to begin a conversation with him about this. How do I start? Is it normal to have that many crazy exes? There is an update, but I would say no unless you're literally dating Ramona Flowers. Straight up.
Yeah,
Even all of them weren't
too
crazy. Some of them
many.
were chill.
Yeah. And there also weren't 20.
And I bet if you talk to all these girls, they'd all say the exact same thing. Like, he just went away for work. I stayed with someone, he dipped. Or, like, he dipped in the middle of the night.
20
Blocked
is
me.
crazy.
Never heard from him again.
The fact that he's not even cordial with one of them.
Go on that, what's that Facebook group?
Oh, the do I
The-
date or whatever? The date
Should
checker.
I date him or something? I can't remember what it is.
I think
have
every
you
town-
dated this man or something?
Every town
I
has,
bet he's all
has one,
over
right?
it.
Yeah, I think, how do you have a conversation about this?
Are we dating the same man?
I think, like, I don't know, you just go, I met your ex. She's not crazy.
Yeah, you say, hey, I ran into so-and-so.
We're
Why
having-
did you,
yeah.
what did she do exactly that you had to dip in the middle of the night?
I get, wait,
Can
I
you-
guess she already did, though, because...
Can you actually name one of the crazy things that they did?
Be like, I want a
Yeah,
list. I
that's
want
good.
name and then why she's crazy. Like,
yeah, even just for one of them. One thing for one of them. And I bet he has nothing.
I mean, is he like this in any other elements of his life, like with his jobs or something? Like, I feel like that's the most common one, is it's like, someone is like always like, yeah, well, I had to get a new job because it's like, my manager was like totally the worst, or like, my
Oh,
coworker,
yeah,
I
is he
couldn't
doing it for
stand my
jobs, too?
coworkers.
I feel like those people, though, usually like pick a topic. Like it's like dating or jobs.
Yeah,
If he's doing
they pick
both,
a lane. He's
Tell him to
overachieving.
Stay back in his lane, but he's doing too much.
Yeah. Okay, we got an update. I just wanted to give an update since I was still getting comments. I had a lot of good advice in the comments. Thank you. Basically, I should have listened to my grandmother. I sat down with my boyfriend last night and we talked. It has been 2 years, but I feel like I barely know him, the real him that other people get to know. I asked about his exes, and I did this because how he treats people matters to me, and it should to anyone. How he treats his exes and just people in general is the exact way I can expect him to treat me when he no longer has any use for me. The talk was long. The talk was hard. The talk needed to happen if I'm going to marry this man and if I'm going to continue to let him have a relationship with my son. He has a history of running and always has. That's how he deals with problems, and his default is to avoid actually having a conversation about hard things with people because he wants to spare them feelings. But really what he's saying is that he just doesn't want to have to deal with having an impact on their feelings. It is cowardly, unkind, and isn't something I desire in a partner. Although he tried to tell me I was different than all those other girls. He needs therapy, obviously, so I told him that we're breaking up and no longer together, but I'd give him time to find a place to move. I own the house. He was free to crash in the guest bedroom or office if that's what he wanted. I told him that he needed to take a break from women and work on himself. He said he loved me and wanted to be with me. He tried to claim his ex was lying. He claimed a lot of those girls were one-night stands. Maybe a few, but I know 1 or 2 who he mentioned as one-nights that were long-term relationships. I was done hearing him talk badly about people while telling me he was a good person, so I ended it. He promised to change, and I told him I'd love to see that in him, but I'm not waiting around for it. I care about him as a person, and I want him to go and learn better ways to treat people, but I can't be his partner, not with how he treats people. I can't love someone like that. I didn't block him, I didn't run away or change the locks and never speak to him again. I even gave him a hug and asked him how he was doing because he was crying. I gave him more kindness than he ever offered any of those women. He asked me to give him a chance to get therapy and get better and apologize to his ex-fiancée. I told him that if he went to therapy and apologized to her and to some of the others, then he and I could talk, but he couldn't keep treating people like that, not if he ever wanted respect. Basically, we were going to take a soft break, but not really break up so he could work on those things. I don't know about that.
It's just breaking up. You're still just breaking up.
I think you need to break up just because if you add that caveat to this situation, you won't know if he's actually changing or if he's just changing to reach the finish line,
Right.
which is you getting back together with him, and then he can just completely not care about that ever again. I even held his hand for a little bit after it was all over and wished him well. And by the way, I wish you would listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. Just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to our entire archive, which is over 70 days worth of stories. We do have a little bit more story left, but do we have any closing thoughts? I think we've done the right thing. You've broken up.
Surly Sunshine says he wants to be the one to end it and run away.
Yeah, it sounds like. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah, you're
the
probably
guy.
the first one. You're probably the first one to break up with him or
Yeah.
take a
Which
break.
I feel like he's going to have some crazy crash out, and anything that he said those girls were doing, he's going to do to you. So prepare to be stalked.
Ooh, yeah. I would get ready for the crazy. If he says
Or-
everyone's crazy and not him,
He's crazy.
he's gonna let the crazy out.
Or once he gets back, like I guess back on his feet, he's gonna be like, she's crazy. You're crazy, OP.
Well, she'll be deemed as crazy either way, but I think that he'll go a little bit crazy on her.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
it's just time to don't make it I don't like the soft breakup. It should just be break up, don't talk to him, don't listen to what he has to say. Just time to move on. Your grandma was right,
Yeah,
and you're doing the right thing.
because you don't know how long it's gonna take. You're like, I'll wait for you. You don't want to do that.
You're leaving the
Yeah.
door cracked for him. He asked if he could still pick up my son after camp and take him out like they had planned. I agreed that I thought that was a good idea. While I was at work this morning, he moved a lot of his stuff out of my house and unfollowed me on all social media. I checked up on him and all my calls went right to voicemail. He never picked my son up from camp. I'm pretty sure he did what he always does.
I'm shocked.
What do you know? And that's the end of the story.